Okay, let's just test audio, make sure everything's good. Okay, audio is good. What's going on, guys? Welcome to part 3 of the Dallas Cowboys rebuild. We are in the 2025 season. Decided to come at you guys with one more live stream before my weekend is up. I want to go ahead and show you guys a couple of changes that we made to the roster based off the last time that I saw y'all. I gave Drake May his number from college. I actually didn't know that in North Carolina he did wear number 10. So I decided to give him his number back because, of course, Cooper Rush is no longer on the team. And this is who we're going with. We still got Zeke, Deuce Vaughn, Walk, Marks, and we got Lipke as our fullback. Our receiving core has a question mark with Luther Burden now being our third receiver. We still have Lamb and we still have Gallup, yes. But we have a little bit of drop-offs now in terms of overalls. Jalen Tolbert, he's going to have to step up. So was Mario Williams. And also Jakeem Grant. We signed Jakeem Grant, former Red Raider, Wreckham. We really brought him in to be our new kickoff and punt returner. So obviously we don't have Cavante Turpin. We didn't bring him back. And I think Jakeem Grant, being a more experienced receiver who can make plays in the passing game, but also as our kickoff and punt returner, I think is really going to help us out this year. And we did sign a third tight end, John Bates. I really don't know much about him, but we signed him as a third tight end. Fits our scheme, 70 overall. Just brought him in to be the third stringer behind Schoonmaker. We still have Tyron Smith. We have Kingsley backing him up just like last year. We still have Tyler Smith and Richards. We've got Biotish, and we have Dawson Deaton still backing him up, another former Red Raider. Martin, and we got Bass backing him up. We still have Terrence Steele, and we drafted Josh Aldridge out of Colorado to back him up on the right side. And defensive end, we still have DeMarcus Lawrence. Fehoko is still going to back him up. And we have Cortland Carney, who we drafted. Mike is still going to be over at right end. Sam Williams is going to back him up. Hopefully we don't have to really move guys like last year if we have injuries, because we have a little bit more depth at linebacker, as you'll see in a minute. Osa Digizua is back. He had that injury last year at the end of the year that really hurt us in the playoffs when we played the Rams. Couldn't stop anybody. Couldn't stop the run. Couldn't stop the pass. But Osa's back, 81 overall. Mozzie Smith. You know, he's going into his third season, and he's still stuck in the mid-70s, so I don't think he's going to be worth a second contract if we continue this rebuild, if we still struggle to win a Super Bowl this season. And we did draft and that's why we drafted Chris Hilbert out of Florida State, just in case Mozzie doesn't work out in the near future. We have Zacchaeus Walker as well, so we have 4 defensive tackles. Left outside linebacker is different. We signed Jonathan Cooper, 4-year man out of Ohio State. He's 75 overall. He's better than Chris Braswell, even though Braswell developed last year by playing, because you play guys, they'll develop quicker. I wanted to get somebody else in there. I really did, because we needed experience there, and more importantly, we just needed depth. Middle linebacker is different too. We signed Eric Kendricks, the former Viking and LA Charger, as of recently. He's a 7-0 overall, but he could get into the 80s by the middle of the season. He's replacing Leighton Vander Esch, who we let walk. He was getting up there in terms of age, and he was getting too expensive. So I decided to go with Eric Kendricks, even though Kendricks has played longer than Vander Esch. Who knows? This could be Kendricks' last stop in the NFL. And we still have DeMarvion Overshown to back him up. We drafted Earl Landry out of Clemson to get more depth as well. And we have Tatum Bethune. So we got a lot more linebackers for depth. We still have Damon Clark, but we did sign Shaq Barrett as a mentor, veteran player, 11 years in the league. I don't know how much longer he's going to play. This may be his last season. I'm not really sure. And, of course, we got Kari Coleman backing up at third string. Corners, no Stephon Gilmore. He actually is a free agent, so we could probably bring him back on the cheap, but I don't want to do that. I want to go ahead and rock with Deron Bland. He's gotten up to an 80. We still have Jason Marshall Jr., who we drafted a year ago out of Florida, so hopefully he can continue to develop and he can actually get better this year. And we also still have Eric Scott, and we have Justin Whaley. So corners, not as much talent there, but I like Diggs and I like Bland being as our main guys. Malik Hooker is still here. He's actually coming off a Pro Bowl season. Sam Franklin Jr., we signed to back him up. And we drafted Vince Jackson out of Washington State. Strong safety is the same. Donovan Wilson, but Mike Edwards is going to back him up. We signed him in the offseason. 6-year man out of Kentucky. Basically been as long in the league as Wilson has. So just depth behind Wilson. And we still have Brandon Aubrey, and we did bring back Brian Anger. So let me make sure that our kick returner is Jakeem Grant, actually. Let's put him in there. As tempting as it would be to put the rookie in there, I want Grant to be there. I want him to be the guy returning kicks because he's got speed, and it'll really help in the kickoff and punt return game a lot like Cavante Turpin did. You know, we need to get I felt like we needed a true kickoff and punt returner, and that's what Grant is. And you know, my familiarity with him being a Texas Tech Red Raider, just figured he could do nothing but help us out. So I made a move for that, and he did actually make the Pro Bowl as a returner several years back. So felt like it was a good move. Okay, well, our roster is in better shape than it was last year. We have 62 players heading into the preseason as opposed to the 51 that we had last year. So our roster is in better shape in terms of depth. So if we have injuries, I think this team will be able to overcome that better in the playoffs, and that'll really be a big boost to us. And because we've let a bunch of back-end players walk, we were able to get more cap space this offseason that we could actually make some free agent moves with getting guys like Shaq Barrett and some of the depth we have at safety now. So that's what we're going with. Okay, then. So let's go ahead and get through this preseason. We'll get to cut down days, and we'll get the roster set for the 2025 regular season. Drake May also won Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC last year. So big things are expected of him, even bigger going into this season. So hopefully he doesn't have the sophomore jump, slump, jinx, whatever you want to call it, and we can still have a successful year where we get to the playoffs. Because, you know, we made the playoffs last year, but we fell in the divisional round to the Rams, but we had a ton of injuries. Micah got hurt. Osa Digizua was hurt. Stephon Gilmore was hurt. We had so many key injuries at the end of the year, it wasn't even funny. Okay, so we won one of the preseason. We're going to play Miami in our final preseason game. Let's go ahead and get through that. Hopefully the backups have been playing okay. Some of our rookies have probably gotten some action now, so that's probably a good thing. So we went 1-2 in the preseason, and now we're at cut down day. Let's go ahead and cut 9 players and get our roster ready to the 53. Okay, so let's go ahead position by position because that makes things easier. Probably not going to really do too much here. Let's put Keelan Robinson actually on practice squad because who knows? He could actually help out a little bit in the near future, so we will see. Let's see. Ricky Pearsall, we're going to move him to practice squad. And Wayne Ruby, we're going to do the same thing with you. We're going to move you to the practice squad. So Jakeem is going to be our... so he will be on the back end, but still. I'm not going to do anything because we just brought Bates in. Can we cut Westlaco? No, we can't cut him without getting a cap penalty, so I'm not going to do that. What about... Can't really do anything with any of the offensive linemen. Cortland Carey, you know, we're going to move him to practice squad. Hopefully he'll develop. He is a rookie, so we'll let him develop a little bit more. Walker, we're going to move you to practice squad. I really don't want to cut anybody. I just want to keep a bunch of these guys on practice in case we need them for later. And let's put Bethune on practice squad as well. Earl Landry, I want him to be available this year in case we need him. And, you know, Coleman, I want to keep him active too because just in case. Because last year we ran out of linebackers. Now Rakeshaw Jr., he can go to practice squad. Max Williams, who we drafted. Actually, we didn't draft him. I think he's a one-year man. Move him to practice. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 5 corners. We still have to move one guy. Vince Jackson, let's go ahead and move him to practice squad. Yeah. I want to keep 5 corners available because we need depth, and I don't want to really risk, you know, letting anybody go. We have 8 skill points to spend for our staff. Let's go ahead and do that with, let's see about our offensive coordinator, Seth Sutton. We have 8 points to spend. Let's spend some of those skill points. Can't really spend too much. Let's let's see. Let's go to brace for impact. Let's give him that. All right. Can't really spend very much because we don't have a lot of points, but we'll get more staff points as the year goes on. So, yeah. And that's another thing about, if you missed the last video, we had to hire a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator because last year's ones actually got head coaching jobs. So we had to get new ones. I don't know how these new guys will be in the first year, and the scheme is a lot of the same, but there's some different things. So hopefully the players that we still have already here will be able to adjust and buy in, and we won't have to make a whole lot of serious adjustments, you know. Okay, so we are in week 1, and we're getting ready to face the Las Vegas Raiders. But first things first, let's go ahead and get this draft class in here for 2026. I know there's a file for 2026 in here at least. So let's go ahead and grab this one. Oh, you know what? No. Oh my god, no. Oh my gosh, I downloaded the wrong one. Huh. Oh my god. I downloaded the wrong draft class. So we're gonna get dupe. Oh my gosh, I really did that. Well, it messed with me, you know. Jeez. Well, that stinks. Now our roster's gonna be like messed up. We have like duplicate players from the 2025 draft. So we have basically the same draft over again. Golly. Oh god. All right. That was a huge goof. I don't want to have to start this all again. Okay, all right. We'll just try to pick guys that nobody knows when it comes to the draft. Okay. All right. One of the things I am going to go ahead and do is set the season goal. I'm going to say make the playoffs this year. Because we made it last year, we can do it again. That's the goal. Opening day keys, upgrade players. Let's do that. We're going to get to simulating here in a second. We'll get going and we'll simulate to the middle of the season and see where this team is at. Practice squad players signed. Who got picked up? So Cortland Carney did get picked up by the Chargers, so we lost actually one of our rookies. I know that's what I get for being risky and putting one of our rookies on practice squad, but whatever, it is what it is. So let's simulate to the middle of the season and see where we're at. This team is still a lot of the same as last year. There are a few differences, and I think this team is actually in better shape, especially for depth. I just wanted some depth so that way we can afford to have an injury or two, just in case something crazy happens. Because you never know. Hopefully at the middle of the season we're in okay shape, because I don't know how much the Eagles, Commanders, and Giants have improved this year in the NFC East. Things could always change year by year depending on, what happens with every team, because every team changes through, just like ours. So we'll see what kind of unfolds here. Well, we're not as good as we were last year. We're 3-4. And we got a matchup against the 5-2 Eagles this week. Let's take a look at injury report. I think somebody's hurt. So DeMarcus Lawrence is out for 1 week with a broken finger, but that's minor. Oh boy. So we got a little bit of an uphill battle, I think. We may be it's going to be hard to get into this as a wildcard team. Could be a little bit of a dogfight. Let's upgrade players. Let's go ahead and take care of that. All right, well, we got a big game against the Eagles, and then we're on a bye. Then we have the Giants and the Bears. I don't know if the Bears are better this year or worse. We'll see what happens. First of all, let's actually take a look at the negotiating screen and see which players' contracts are up. We have $111 million to spend, so we got a lot of cap room. Micah, you're going to be a Cowboy for life. We want you here. Any future deals count for interest in being met. Okay, well, he may drive up a little bit of a hard bargain. And Zach Martin, I want him to finish his career as a Cowboy. Can he play one more season for us? Excited to sign. Okay, great. All right. Tyron Smith may retire at the end of the season, so I don't know if I want to take a risk of trying to re-sign him. And he's actually regressed. He's not in the 90s yet. So that doesn't really make me feel super, super great. I want to keep Donovan Wilson here for maybe a couple more years if we possibly can. You need to convince me this team is... Okay, all right. So Donovan Wilson needs more convincing. What about Deron Bland? He's developed into a good corner that I want to keep around. Offers perfect. Can't wait for next season. Okay, so we've got Bland to commit for 2 more years. And, Shaq... Let's actually just focus on bringing back just Shaq Barrett and not Damon Clark. Save a little bit of money. Happy to sign. Okay, so we're going to have Shaq come back for 1 more season as another bridge guy to make sure that we're still solidified there. And Eric Kendricks, I think it may just be a 1-year rental for him. Maybe there's going to be a better middle linebacker that we can get in free agency or the draft. I don't know about that, but we'll see. Tyler Biadasz, I'm debating about whether I want to try to bring him back or not because he's only at a 77, and I don't know if he's going to get really any better than that. We'll let Brandon Aubrey and Brian Anger walk because we can always get a new kicker and punter. Jalen Tolbert, I think, actually may be an expendable guy because of the fact that we drafted, Luther, so he may, and Sam Williams, he can go. John Bates, he can go. Trey Lance, I thought maybe just in case he might be the answer, but you know what? I think Trey's going to be a guy we're just going to let walk. Same thing with Wessico. Now, Jakeem Grant, I may bring back for 1 more season just so we can have another receiver and also our kickoff and punt returner. Lipke will bring back because I want to, you know what? Actually, we'll get a better fullback in the offseason than him. And TJ Bass, I think we may just bring back for depth reasons, but only give him like 1 or 2 year deals. But Micah Parsons is the guy that we need to absolutely 100, 1,000% bring back. I cannot afford to let Micah Parsons walk this offseason. That's not going to happen. I don't care what it takes to get him on to be a part of this team for several more seasons, but I'm going to do it. Okay, so we got a tough matchup against the Eagles this week. Looks like DeMarcus Lawrence is going to miss this game, so it may be tough, but we got to go into the link and get this win against the Eagles. Because right now we're at 3rd place in the NFC East behind both the Commanders and the Eagles. And unfortunately we lost, and we are in the basement of the division. Oh my God. This is not good. This is not good. We are in... We're struggling. No sugarcoating it. We're 3-5. We're going into this bye week. We play a game against the Giants, who are 4-4. We lose to them. We may have an even steeper hill to climb to get into the playoffs, which is demoralizing to say the least. All right, Micah, so we need to go with a very player-friendly option. This is a 5-year deal. This is a lot of money to spend on him, but Micah is Micah, and he is going to stay as a Cowboy. All right, now Wilson, he wasn't really a big fan of player friendly. This is a 3-year deal. All right, he's happy to sign that one, so that's good. Okay, so we've got him back. And Damon Clark, we talked about letting him walk because we managed to get Shaq Barrett for 1 more year. Same thing with Eric Kendricks. Jake Ferguson, Schoonmaker is not too far off, and he's going to be here for at least 1 or 2 more seasons, so Ferguson, I think we can let walk, and maybe we can even get maybe a better tight end free agency. So let's do that. And I think the rest of these guys, Oh, except for Jakeem, but we can't negotiate with a lot of these guys yet until the latter part of the season. So we'll do that. You know, we drafted that rookie at left tackle a few years back for the inevitable of Tyron Smith retiring at some point. So that's what we're doing. All right, we got 13 staff points to spend, so let's spend some more points on let's actually go to our defensive coordinator, Scott Anderson. Let's spend some money on him, on his tree. Give him some points. 8 points here. Let's do the squared up. Let's give him points there. We only have 5 left to spend, but that's not enough, so we're going to have to save those points for later in the year so we can develop our staff more. All right, let's get through this bye week and let's get ready to play the Giants. Whew. 3-5. We have some tough matchups coming up. Let's upgrade players before we get ready to play the Giants. All right. Okay, well, this is a big win because we're in the basement. If we lose this game, we may be in trouble. And I'm serious. Drake May must be having a tough second year. Defenses are starting to pick up his tendencies, I would imagine. Maybe the number switch was bad luck, but I want to hope that's not the case. So fortunately, we get a 3-point win against the Giants. That's big. So we've climbed above them at 3rd place in the division. We're only 1 game back from the Commanders. We're 2 games back from the Eagles. We're playing a 4-6 Bears team this week. So hopefully we can get a win against them. They don't look too overpowering. So got to get this one. Let me check actually the injury report and see if we have any key guys that are hurt going into this game. Because every game may be pretty big from here on out. Nope, we got no injuries. Okay, so since we have no injuries, I mean, we're healthy. Got to take care of business. All right, hopefully we get a win against the Bears. We got to go into Chicago. It's the latter part of the season, so it's going to be cold up there. And hopefully we can get a win. And we do. All right, we get a 6-point win over the Bears, and now we're 5-5. We've climbed to 2nd place in the division. We're 1 game back from the Eagles, and we play them this week. But we got 1 new injury. Who's hurt? Luther Burden is out for 3 weeks with a ruptured disc. Well, that's not good for the rookie. So Jalen Tolbert is going to be a guy that's going to move up to 3rd, and Jakeem Grant is probably going to get some more plays in the passing game. But you know what? That's okay with me. So Week 12, since it's the short week, this must be our Thanksgiving Day game, and we're playing Philadelphia on Thanksgiving. So this is going to be a pretty tough matchup, and this game could very well decide whether we're going to win the division or whether we're going to have to settle for being a wild card team. This is going to be tough, but hopefully we can get a win this week against the Eagles. We lost to them the last time that we played, so hopefully we can have a better outing in this game. And we do. We beat them by 3 points on Thanksgiving, and we are now at 1st place in the NFC East. We're above the Eagles and we're above the Commanders, but all of us have the same record, so that's going to make things pretty tough down the stretch. The weekly awards. Drake May won NFC Offensive Player of the Week, 364 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 pick. He was sacked 3 times, and he had 24 rushing yards. So I think May's found a little bit of his stride in a little bit the back half of the season, which is good because, you know, I know the sophomore slump happens to some quarterbacks in this league. It happened to Dak in 2017, but Drake looks like he's kind of finding himself a little bit. You know, we need him to be on point during the back half of the season if we want to get to the end of the playoffs. Looking at the playoff picture right now, we would be the 4th seed. So as the division leaders in the NFC East, that makes sense. The Lions would have the top seed. San Francisco with the 2nd seed. Panthers at 4. Panthers at 3. Us at 4. Cardinals at 5. 6 for the Rams and 7 for the Eagles. So no sign of the Commanders. But then again, if the Eagles lose and the Commanders start to win, then they could kind of leapfrog them for playoff position. But we're playing a tough game against the Broncos up there in Mile High. I don't know if Russell Wilson is still their quarterback, but they're 6-5 just like us. fighting for some playoff positioning. Hopefully this is a win we can go on the road and take care of business at Mile High. And unfortunately, we drop our first game in a few weeks. Fortunately for us, the Eagles and the Commanders both lost, so we all still have the same record. So at least there's a silver lining there. But we're going into we're facing the 8-4 Dolphins back at home this week in Week 14. And I assume Tua and Tyreek Hill are still there. Oh yeah, Tyreek Hill is a 98 overall. He's their best player, so this is going to be pretty tough. Let's get to the negotiating again, and let's take a look at some back-end players who I was considering bringing back for next year and several years to come. You know, Clark I'm still on the fence about, but I'm going to stick to my guts because we did get Shaq Barrett to come back for one more year as a bridge player. Eric Kendricks, we're going to let him walk. Biotish, he hasn't really gotten any better, so we're going to let him walk. John Bates as well. Les Leco. Okay, so we can't negotiate with Jakeem until 15. And we'll bring back TJ Bass as well. So we're only going to bring back Jakeem Grant and TJ Bass. Those guys are really for death, but Jakeem to continue to be our kickoff and punt returner. I don't know how he's really been doing this season, but I think he's worth having, speed. And, we're probably going to let Tolbert walk after this year. So we got to keep at least one of our receivers on the back end of the roster. But first things first, we got to hopefully take care of business against Miami. And we win. We win by 11 to the Dolphins. And the Eagles won too, but the Commanders lost. So the Commanders may, in a way, already be out of the playoff hunt, but we're still leading the NFC East. Only barely, by not even a full game, like half a game. Let's upgrade Deuce Vaughn and one other player. Marks, I think it was, both of our running backs. So we're playing a 5-8 Seattle team. I would think that this is a game that we should be able to take care of. But let's go back to the negotiating screen. I think this is really we're really opening the door for pretty much everybody to get negotiations with. Jakeem, I want you to come back here for a couple of years, man. Happy to sign. Okay, so Jakeem, we're going to show you some love. We're going to show you some loyalty as our kickoff and punt returner for the next couple of seasons, as well as being another receiver that we can use, because your speed is something good. We could definitely use that. And we'll negotiate with Bass when Week 17 comes. So we'll do that later. After we play the Lions, who are the best team in the NFC. So we've got matchups against two teams that have losing records. We have Seattle and we have the Giants coming up. So we can't lay an egg at this point. We got to be playing our best football at the back half of the season so we can lock up the NFC East and get ready for the playoffs and hopefully have a better outing than we did last year. We're worse than last year, and we get the win against Seattle. That's good. So we're worse than last year as far as our record, but if we can still win the NFC East, we're still going to be able to host at least a wild card playoff game at home. And that may actually be a little bit beneficial because, even though we had a bye week, which is, nice to get that rest, sometimes if you don't play for a while or for a full week, it can kind of hurt you just a little bit. So we're 8-6. The Eagles are also 8-6. We don't play them again, so we can't slip up, and this is going to be. But the Giants, I feel like, are going to give us all they got. They're going to play fast and they're going to play hard, and they still got a 97 overall Saquon Barkley. So hopefully we can take care of business against the Giants. Can't lose, can't lay eggs right now. And we don't. We win by 4 points. High-scoring game, but we take care of business against the Giants. And the Eagles also won, so we're still deadlocked with them for the same record. So this is pretty big. And it looks like we got some weekly awards. Drake May, once again, won NFC Offensive Player of the Week. 383 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 sack. Well, he was sacked once. Okay. So May looks like he's playing better at the back half of the season, so that's good to see. All right, but we're playing the best team in the NFC right now, the 10-5 Lions. We're 9-6. this is going to be a game that's going to tell, if we get to the playoffs, how competitive we're really going to be with a team like Detroit, because we're going to have to go through them in the playoffs in order to get to the Super Bowl. And they are having a good year this year. I think Dan Campbell is still the coach. And unfortunately, we lose by 1 point to the Lions. We played hard, and unfortunately, because we lost, the Eagles have leapfrogged us for the division lead. So that's not good. We should still be in the playoffs even if we don't win the NFC East. That's what I'm hoping for. But then again, nothing is guaranteed. And when we get to the playoffs, I've had, times where I've thought in these rebuilds with every team that we had a chance, and then we lay an egg. So you never know. Let's take a look at the playoff picture now based on what happened this week. So we would still be in the playoffs as the 5th seed, but the Eagles would be ahead of us. So right now we would be playing them in the first round of the playoffs in Lincoln Financial Field if the season were to end today. And the Lions are still at 1, and the Niners are still at 2, Panthers at 3. So interesting. All right. Before that, though, we got to play a 6-10 Vikings team that still has Justin Jefferson. We still got to deal with him. We got 2 more games left, and we beat the Vikings to end the regular season with 10 wins, but we are going against the Eagles, and it looks like practice squad player. Looks like a bunch of our practice squad players have been picked up. So Austin Lowe, our quarterback, was signed by the Falcons. The Broncos signed Bethune. Robinson was picked up by the Cardinals. The Chiefs signed Vince Jackson. Walker went somewhere, and Jarvis Harris. So we lost a bunch of practice squad players to other teams. Not great, but, one last hoorah. What's this? I want to see what this is. Could this be one of our players saying that he's going to retire at the end of the season? Coach, I wasn't going to say anything, but it feels like this might be it for Zach Martin. All right. I talked with him at the beginning of the year, and it felt like this could be coming. This could be some extra motivation and fire we need for a deep run. Absolutely. We got, Tyron Smith and Zach Martin. I mean, Tyron Smith, we're not going to bring him back. And with Zach Martin, if this is his last year, we want to end it on a high note. Hot opponent, upgrade players. So this is the end for a lot of original Cowboy players, especially on the O-line and maybe even defensively, maybe even DeMarcus Lawrence. This is a playoff run that we have to go on. We got to get on this playoff run, and we got to stay hot. Fortunately, we ended the season with a win. So even though it was against the 6-10 Vikings, ending the season with some playoff momentum is better than ending it when you're just playing like crap. So here we go. Let me check and see what injuries we have, if we have to make any adjustments, any major adjustments before we play this playoff game against the Eagles. We have no injuries, so we are going into these playoffs healthy. We have everybody. Nobody's injured. This team is good enough, in my opinion, to win, to make a deep playoff run and get to the Super Bowl and possibly win it. But we got to show up and show out against these Eagles. Let's play the moments. I hope it's not snowing up there in Philadelphia for this game, but it very well may be snowing. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're wearing the right jerseys. Both teams are. So their Eagles are going to be wearing their... Is that their current home? What are the socks? The current socks? I guess those are correct. Okay, make sure current home for the Eagles. Okay, let's go. First playoff opponent is our rival. Dak struggled against Jalen Hurts. Drake May has been okay so far, but we went 1-1 against the Eagles this season. This is the rubber match. This is going to determine who's the best team in the NFC East for real. We're not coming up to Link to lay it down like we did last year against the Rams. We also are way healthier. We have all of our horses in the barn. So we got to go out there and we got to win this game. We got to get this one and go on this playoff run and get to the Super Bowl. Is Drake May the answer or not? I think these playoffs are going to prove something. Or else he's going to suffer the same fate as Tony Romo and Dak did. It's going to be more proof that, hey, he can't win in the playoffs when it matters most. So we're actually playing an afternoon game, which is a little surprising. It's cold out here, but it's not snowing. So that's good. So here we go. Looks like we are starting with the ball first on offense. Let's get our butts down this field and score.
They start on the ground with Elliott. And not a whole lot of
going on a run with you, buddy.
First down run. He gets maybe 3. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff
Zeke gets 5 yards, so he's 2 yards short of first.
He'll be hit down at 33, 5 yards on the play.
All right, Zeke, you're 30 years old.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott.
Zeke picks up another first down.
Yardage as he's brought down.
Picks up our first down of the game. Let's go. All right, now let's start to loosen these guys up.
It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Slant.
Now they'll switch it up here and
Bird
look to
him.
throw.
Our rookie
Throwing the slant
at a
pattern here
Mizzou,
complete.
inches short. Let's go with the inside zone run here.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a
Power
yard.
for Zeke.
And he'll
First
get
down.
it down
Let's
to the
go.
47 here.
Sirianni's still their coach.
2 yards, good enough for a first. The play action fake. They'll look to throw.
Come on, Gallup. Let's go. Hit him in stride. Gallup. Oh, almost got in the end zone. What a run. What a nice catch and run by Gallup. Let's go.
46 yards. So 1st and goal and an opportunity for our first points in this wild card game. Elliott.
Zeke up the middle. Touchdown, Cowboys. Let's go. Touchdown right off the bat on our opening drive. We hit that big play for Gallup. That was huge. Showing the Eagles we're here to come. We're here to play. We're not going to lay down. Back on offense again. Our defense kept him out of the end zone on the first drive. Nice job, Pete. Here in the second quarter, we got a 1st and 10. I'm going to run it a little bit more, but looks like they're kind of keying in on Zeke a little bit here.
Brought down by Willie Gay. Here's a 2nd and 8.
Weiss stick. On CD.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun.
CD.
He's got it.
Almost. Almost there.
Yeah, the Cowboys are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. Now Elliott.
Touchdown, Zeke.
To the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown.
Got a 14-0 lead on the road in Philadelphia.
With his 2nd touchdown.
Just what we needed. Offense, we got a 2nd down
as we get you back into the action. This offense coming up on a 2nd down and 3 to go.
There we go. Make that catch.
Left side into the hands of his
nice
tight
move.
end.
Let's go a little bit of hurry up here.
Yeah, the Cowboys
we got
are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken.
It's maybe risky, but I'm going to go with the screen.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks
to
throw.
Oh, Zeke, break that tackle. Oh, get away from him. Oh. Chucking, guys. All right, let's call a timeout. Zeke had to work his way just to get like 2 yards on that play. That's not ideal.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal.
2nd down and goal.
Again, he'll drop
Luther,
the throw.
come on.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete.
Let's go a little bit of hurry up.
And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Sliding out of the pocket. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line.
3rd and goal they decided to throw for, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open. Left him nowhere to go with the football. Had to
absorb the sack. Automatic Aubrey. Field goal is good. We're up 17 now. I'll take the 3 points before the half. Nice job. Man, the Eagles really haven't got... Well, okay, well, they finally scored, but we scored again. This game's starting to... Well, okay, here they come. All right. Back on offense. We need this third down. Eagles are starting to catch up to us.
In a tight game in the fourth quarter. Let's see if they can get that stop they need.
Just run it, Drake. Just run it, Drake. First down.
Another first down as they'll get
nice
the ball
job,
down
Drake.
to the Eagles'
Let's
30.
go. All right, so we're going to play defense for the first time. Unfortunately, we couldn't turn that drive into points. So now we got to play defense for, I assume, this whole drive. Kendricks had a big hit right there on the receiver, but he didn't cough it up. Second down and 2 for Hurts and the Eagles. And we're almost at the 2-minute warning. They drive down the field and tie it up. We still got a shot to get our butts down the field and kick a field goal to win this game. But we've let the Eagles right back in the second half. Pretty unfortunate. But, you know, our defense struggled last year in the playoffs, and I guess it's kind of struggling again, even with the moves that we've made with some of the personnel. Oh my goodness, there's a flag. I think it's going to be roughing the passer.
This might be a roughing call.
Oh my God. Mozzie Smith gets 15 yards. That was my own fault too, because I was controlling
trying to avoid as they attempt to protect
and now
this
we put
lead
them
late in the game.
Better range in order to try to tie this game up.
In a significant way. Yeah, one guy committed to
tackle. Here we go. Inbounds too. So the clock's going to tick down to the 2-minute warning. We're at the 2-minute warning. The Eagles are down by 7. They're driving, trying to score a touchdown to tie this thing up. This could go down to the wire.
As we get you reset. 2nd and 6 coming up.
Come on.
Here's Hurts to throw.
Really? Oh my goodness, Kendricks, you couldn't bring him down.
The 20 before he's brought down.
Instead, Dallas Goedert gets the easy first down.
3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now.
Pick it.
Now here's a look for
okay, I thought that might be interference on Diggs, but they didn't call it. That could have been a pass interference. It looked like it was going to be based on the way that he was kind of holding him.
They run out of the gun with Swift, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. A big play looming on 3rd down. Oh, no,
Fumble, get it! Let's go, Kendricks!
And now off to the races down the right side.
Eric Kendricks picks up the fumble. I don't know who hit him and caused the fumble, but we made Swift fumble the ball right on the doorstep. Literally, guys. He catches it. It was Clark. On the doorstep, we make them fumble the football, and we're going to win this game. Unbelievable. Eric Kendricks picks up the fumble to end it. Now we just got to run the football and get out of here with the win.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4.
This was a tough game.
Now the defense
Eagles almost came back and beat us.
Timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
And they can burn all the rest of their timeouts.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to
Zeke.
get forward and protect
Zeke is gone.
Now he's loose again.
Or not. He's down at the 1. Whatever. Zeke has had a great game.
Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts.
He's had 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. Let's just take a knee. I don't want to. I don't feel like we need to score here.
And they take a knee. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout.
All right, let's take a knee, and they have no more timeouts left. Wow, guys. This was a tough fight. I mean, Swift is about to go in the end zone. Clark was the only guy left who had the angle, who could have made the stop. And he puts the hit stick on him, makes him cough up the football. We get it, and it's over. What a great play by the defense after they had struggled the entire rest of the second half, and we let the Eagles back in this game. We were up like 24-7 at one point, and they scored 10 in a row. And they almost tied it, but we stopped them on the doorstep. Just a gutsy win, and we win the rubber match against the Eagles, and that's going to put us in the divisional round next week, which has still been the Cowboys' Achilles heel.
Down to a knee, and that will do it. They are moving on here in the playoffs. So now one of
We're not going to kick this field goal. We're just going to let the clock wind down and walk off the field, and let's get out of here with the win. So we have to meet the Eagles in the playoffs for the third time this season, and we get the win 24-17, and we're going to the divisional round like last year. The only difference is that we didn't have a playoff win because we didn't have a first-round bye. So, because we had a first-round bye, but this is a big win. This is huge for the rebuild.
Got that done. Win a wild card game. Big check. Now you've got to go ahead and set your sights higher. There is a bigger prize out there, and they still have an opportunity.
So that'll just about do it for...
What a win against the Eagles. Stop them on the doorstep of potentially tying the game. Great job. It was just a huge hit. I don't know. I've seen plenty of clutch plays in Madden 24 so far that I've been able to do, but that might be right up there. That might be pretty close with clutch playoff moments. All right, so we're moving on to the divisional round, and we're going to play against the Atlanta Falcons. Looks like the Falcons, meanwhile, picked up Wayne Ruby from our practice squad, so we lost another receiver. Let's take a look at the playoff bracket. So, wild card round. Cardinals beat 49ers. We beat the Eagles. The Falcons beat the Panthers, so it's going to be us against the Falcons. Lions against the Cardinals, AFC side. The Broncos beat the Chiefs, so no chance for Mahomes. Dolphins beat the Jets. Titans beat the Bengals, so we've got Steelers, Broncos, Dolphins, Titans in the AFC. Interesting scenario. Okay. Let's go ahead and upgrade players before we get ready to play the Falcons this week. Get some of these young guys upgraded. So we're going to need to have everybody on their game, on point. So here we go. Got to go on the road once again. We're going to be road warriors for the rest of the playoffs. Got to go on the road to play Atlanta. I assume they still have Desmond Ridder at quarterback. So, got to get this one to make sure that they have their regular jerseys. They do. Okay. Going up to hot Atlanta. I don't know if their roster has changed a whole lot in the last couple of years, but we'll see. It obviously has gotten a little bit better based on the fact that they're a 10-17 and they're in the playoffs. So, just kind of relaxing before I get ready to go back to work tomorrow. Last week of work before Christmas. I'm sure everybody's trying to kind of mailing it in a little bit going into this week, but still work to do.
Tonight, from Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
So here we go. On the road against the Falcons. We got ball first. You know what happens when we get the ball first? Usually good things. I say usually because we never know.
They'll try and start this drive in the air.
So Luther,
over the middle,
our rookie, makes the catch.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. No catches for him in the wild card win last week, but he's got a first quarter grab here. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that.
Looks like Ridder is still their quarterback. I can see him over there.
They're going to look to throw. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. And a terrific return as he brings this one all the way back to the 30.
Well, we're off to a good start on this one. We're going to pick on our first possession. Now our defense has to try to keep them out.
This game may not stay that way much longer as this defense is out there needing a stop on 1st and goal. First down, here's Ritter. This will be caught at about the 5.
And he's almost in the end zone.
A gain of 9 there. Sets up 2nd and goal.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch.
Is that going to be roughing the passer?
For a short game.
Oh my God. I keep doing that. It's not your fault, Kirby. It's mine.
So, Charles, this a defense that hasn't made a lot of mistakes like this on the road to this playoff matchup, but that a bad one there.
Yeah, you definitely want to rattle and shake up the...
He's not in. Oh, he is. Okay. Bijan Robinson gets into the end zone for the Falcons. Well, we throw the interception on the first possession, and that's what happens. Third down and 8 here.
Test for the defense coming up. What can they dial up here to try and thwart this 3rd down situation?
Come on. There you go, Gallup. Nice grab.
That's complete. And that's going to be good for another.
Got another 1st and 10 here. Let's get this game tied up.
The offense is in the red zone. It's a 1st and 10 situation at the 15-yard line.
Oh, man, I tried to throw the ball away. Instead, we get sacked. 12 yards.
He's sacked. Arnold Ebiketie charges in there hard and drops him for a loss of 12 from that outside linebacker position.
Gallup got it. 1st and goal. Let's go, Gallup. 2 big catches on this drive. Tempo here.
A 1st down carry by Elliott.
And
he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. They'll try again with Elliott.
And Zeke walks in for the touchdown. All right, nice job. We answered the touchdown with one of our own. Got this game tied up. Just what we needed. Back on defense. Falcons got a 2nd down and 1.
Situation, ball in the red zone. It's 2nd down, and the defense needing to step up. On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson. And he's brought down just outside of the 10.
We had him for a second, and he powered through.
Yards the pickup, 1st down. Ritter to throw it. Targeting Pitts on the out route. He's got it complete. And the Falcons are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball across the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
And he'll take it.
And Robinson gets into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown.
Bijan Robinson.
No, we're in a shootout with Atlanta. And once again, our offense doesn't do anything. Our offense doesn't do anything, and here they are, 1st and 10.
Defense can respond to an impending 1st and goal. Now Ritter to throw on 1st down. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
We got to keep him at least out of the
accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary.
2nd and goal.
This one, though, they diagnosed that one really well.
Tried to dump off, lost yardage. Quick hitter here, it's complete. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. A big one coming in this divisional round playoff, 3rd and goal. Ritter back to throw.
Nope.
That one thrown away from
the field goal.
Pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty.
4th and goal,
just an incomplete pass.
Guts. They're running it.
They'll run for it with Robinson.
No.
And he's not going to get in.
Nice.
Stop him at the
4th
1.
and goal. They don't get it in. Goal line stand. Let's go. But unfortunately, we can't do anything. We're back on offense. Here in the third quarter. We got a 3rd down and 5. We need this.
A very slim lead in the third quarter.
First down to
the field, and he's got a man complete. And that's going to be good for another first.
1st and 10.
A solid drive here has this offense in really good position. Can they finish the drive off? Let's find out. It's 1st and 10 inside the red zone. Flush to his right. And down he goes. Pressure
he got sacked for no loss, so that was not too bad, but still bad.
Time for his second sack
if that makes any sense.
2nd and 10 here as we sit in the third quarter of this divisional round matchup. Flushed out right. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Got his tight end.
First down.
Complete. It's Ferguson.
Touchdown. Let's go, Ferguson.
Cowboys.
Big touchdown right there.
Ferguson.
The Falcons retake the lead.
Well, let's get back into the action. This defense up against a 1st and 10. The ball down at the 12-yard line. Ritter on 1st and 10.
Oh man, that was I don't know what happened.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. 2nd and 10 now. It's Ritter. And it's caught.
Oh my
Touchdown, Falcons. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Falcons.
It all started with that interception. First drive. 4th quarter, we're down 2 touchdowns. We have a 3rd down and 5.
See if this defense is up to the task. He'll drop to throw. Buying time to his left. Powering his way forward. And he takes us just a few yards shy of the red zone. 2nd and 5. He'll buy some time right. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12.
So I just have to tuck it and run.
Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a 1st down. They'll set up to throw.
Oh, man.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. 2nd and 10. On play action, they'll throw. Now he steps away.
Check down.
This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield.
Let's go with a little up-tempo here.
And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. On 3rd down, Elliott.
Touchdown.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott.
All right, well, we're down by 7 again. Our defense needs to make a stop.
This defense very much with their backs against the wall now. Let's see how they defend this 1st and goal.
We just can't stop them when they get down the red zone.
Here's Ritter. Touchdown.
Brought the house and it backfired so bad.
And they have been struggling. Can they get the score they need to get back in this football game? Back to throw again.
We thoroughly know. Right, let's hurry up now.
And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 34-yard line.
All right, I will do a different play. Ike, come on, guys.
Inside give to Elliott.
We're wasting a lot of time here.
And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line. They'll come up now on 2nd down. They'll set up a throw. His throw incomplete. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. Playoff lives at stake. Boy, this is a big one. 3rd down. Escaping the pressure right. Looking
CD,
for
come
the
on.
end zone.
Oh!
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by A.J. Terrell. And the Falcons are going to take possession here. It's a touchback. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And with 3
stopped him,
interceptions
we have less time to do
already,
anything.
we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and set.
And this is caught at the 20.
Got CD.
Well, there's still hope, but it's dwindling fast. No timeouts left. They need 2 scores still. 1st and 10 here. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Boy, this crowd is on pins and needles now.
I put that ball
anytime you see the ball heading for the end zone, you really hold your breath, and they come out of their seats. That one falls incomplete.
They'll roll him out right. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Here's 1st and goal. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Rolling to his right, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
I don't know what I'm doing here, guys.
The Cowboys
We
looking
have
to
like
get
no
going again in
hope.
a hurry. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Back in the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. This crowd doing all they can. Here's 3rd and goal. Back to throw.
Mario Williams.
And this
touchdown.
is
Okay,
caught,
whatever.
so it's a late touchdown,
Well,
but maybe
we
too
need the
late.
onside kick. or else
Still a little
we can't.
One-score game, 7 points here in the 4th quarter. This offense, they need to get the football back on this onside
I'm just
kick.
flustered
The
right
team
now.
out there
I'm
for
just
the
so
Cowboys as they run
upset
up to
with
send
the
this
way
one
that
away.
this is
They're
ended.
gonna
Drake
mark
May
that
threw
where it
3
went out of
interceptions in
bounds.
this
So
game.
really good starting field
Now then
position
again,
up past
those
the 40-yard
2 were
line.
my fault, but Drake May,
You don't see
he
that
threw
often.
3
He just
interceptions
hits
in this
it and
game,
it goes
dude.
out of bounds.
You're not the guy.
Well,
All right,
one side
guys.
moves on, and then,
So,
of course, there's the other
trying
side,
to
and
do
now
a
they face
rebuild
what they
without
don't
Dak
wanna
Prescott
face,
to
and
get
that's
this
the
team to a
offseason.
Super Bowl.
Think about the journey
So far,
just getting to this game.
it's netted us the same
Preseason,
results
right?
as basically when we
OTAs
had
and
Dak.
minicamps before that.
So what we're gonna, so you know what we're gonna do this offseason? We're making a change at quarterback. Now Drake May is still probably gonna be on this ball club, but we're bringing in somebody to take his job. Because that playoff performance that he gave and the limitations that it looked like that he had were very, very noticeable. We need a new quarterback. We need a better quarterback than a guy that's in the 80s, low 80s. Because I don't know how much Drake May progressed this year, but I'm guessing it wasn't really by a whole lot. We're going to take a look at the free agency pool and see who's out there. If not, we'll make a trade. For who? I don't know. Ricky Pearsall also was signed by the Falcons practice squad, so that's good. So we lose the divisional round once again, just like with Dak. And we are sitting at home. Again, let's go ahead and take a look at the Pro Bowl roster and see if anybody made it. So Drake May did make the Pro Bowl, but at 85, he's developed okay, but just, if there's somebody better, we're going to bring them in. Zeke also made it. So did CD. And Jake Ferguson also made the Pro Bowl, so that's good. And unfortunately, I think it's the end for Tyron Smith and Zach Martin as well. Tyler Smith made it. And so did Zach Martin. Probably his last Pro Bowl. And DeMarcus Lawrence made it. So did Micah, as always. We have talent. We just haven't been able to get it done. Just like always. It's the way it is always with the Cowboys. They got all the talent, but they can't get it done. And that's it. Didn't have anybody else make it. Nobody really on defense, but that's not surprising because it looks like even though we made the changes at linebacker that made us have more depth by the time the playoffs came around, it helped us get one playoff win against the Eagles. But I think our defense still needs some improvements in certain areas also. And we're also going to be losing some offensive linemen. You know, we're losing Tyron Smith to free agency. Zach Martin is probably going to retire. So, you know, we're getting into really the actual rebuild of the Cowboys, the real rebuild. MVP went to Patrick Mahomes. Did anybody from the Cowboys? Nope. Drake May actually did finish 9th in the MVP race. Coach of the Year. Mike McCarthy nowhere to be found. NFC Offensive Player of the Year. CeeDee Lamb finished 5th. Okay. Defensive Player of the Year. Micah finished 3rd and Lawrence finished 4th. Nice job. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Nobody. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Nobody. Best QB. Drake May finished 6th. Best running back. Zeke finished 4th. Best wide receiver. CD finished 2nd. So CD had a bounce back year this year, so that's good. Tyler Smith finished 8th in best lineman. Best defensive lineman went to both Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Well, not both, but one finished 1, the other finished 2. Best linebacker, nobody. Best DB, no love for Diggs. Diggs must have had a tough year. Brandon Aubrey is 3rd for kicker. Yeah. All right. So, you know, Micah won best defensive lineman. But other than that, we didn't really have any award winners. Next week, see who plays in the Super Bowl. Looks like it's it looks like the Cardinals and the Titans. So just like I did with the Cardinals when I did their rebuild, they've done a rebuild of their own, and they lost the Super Bowl though. But they did make it. Let's upgrade. All right, let's get to the off season and let's see what the damage is, because I think we're going to have a retirement from Zach Martin, based on the conversation that McCarthy had with Drake May. I think Zach Martin is done. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him a Super Bowl in this rebuild, but it is what it is. All right, who retired? Zach Martin and DeMarcus Lawrence both retire after 12 seasons. They came in the same draft class together, and they're both leaving together. Gentlemen, I'm sorry that we couldn't get you guys a Super Bowl before you rode off into the sunset. I'm sorry. Those are 2 big holes we have to fill. 2 really big holes. We're going to have to spend money in free agency again. And, you know, with those guys retiring, hopefully it frees us some cap space. Now, Mock Draft 3, I can't believe that I went too quickly, and now we basically got the same draft class as last year. But let's see. Who are we selected to take? Nick Singleton, a running back. We could use a new running back because Zeke is probably going to play only 1 or 2 more seasons, so we actually could use that. All right, so let's take a look at the players ready to negotiate, and let's see if there's anything that I want to go ahead and do. So you know what, Tyron? Can you come back for 1 more season? I'm excited. Okay, so we got Tyron Smith back. I did that because Martin's retiring, and we also had DeMarcus Lawrence retire as well. So because of that, I want to see who else we need to consider bringing back. You know, Ferguson might have had a Pro Bowl season, but 79 to me is not really going to cut it very much. And I think we need to upgrade our kicker and our punter. We need to get some dogs in here. We need to get some elite players to fill these gaps and really get this team to be basically unstoppable. We got work to do. It's time to go to work. Okay, so with that, I'm not worrying about bringing back Wetzko. Neither Bates nor Lance. Lipke, you can go. But Bass, I want to bring you back for a couple of more seasons, actually. That's a cheap deal, but we need depth, so I want to go ahead and keep you. All right. Now, and because we re-signed Shaq Barrett for 1 more season, we're going to let Damon Clark walk. That'll free up some more cap space, so we can actually have a little bit more money to spend this offseason. All right, let's advance to stage 1. Let's take a look at our roster and see what holes we have to fill. All right, let's take a look. Okay. So Drake May and Austin Tucker are our only quarterbacks. So Drake May actually has gotten up to an 88. Maybe I was a little hard on him after the playoff defeat, but maybe we just need to get more talent around here. Yeah, we don't have a fullback, so we're going to need to do that. CeeDee Lamb's up to a 99. Holy cow. Oh, man, CD. Let's go. So we got 2 99s. We got him and Micah. That's unrelenting. We still have Gallup, and we got Burden. Burden made some plays last year, so I think that was a solid pick. He's already up to an 80 after 1 season. And we got Jakeem Grant coming back for a couple more seasons as our kickoff and punt returner. Mario Williams, I think, is going to get some more playing time this next season. But we could still use another receiver. We need a new tight end. Offensive line. We are pretty good on the offensive line still, but we actually need a new center. And we need a new right guard. So the center and right guard are the big holes that we have to fill. And left defensive end. And we're also going to need a backup defensive end, but we can look at that in the draft as well. Linebackers. Of course, we let Eric Kendricks walk, so we're going to have to replace him with somebody better. And Shaq actually went down to a 74, so maybe letting Clark walk wasn't the best idea. But if we need to bring him back, we can. Probably on a little bit of a cheaper deal. Hooker. We're still good at safety. We need a new kicker, and we need a new punter. Lots of holes to fill. Let's get to it. Biggest holes that we have to fill are center and right guard in terms of, and defensive end, left defensive end, in terms of immediate starters. So let's see who the prizes are. So Deebo Samuel's the highest rated player. We could go after Joe Benitolo and move him over to right guard. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's go with a player-friendly deal for 2 years. Let's see if we can bring him in, because we can always move him to right guard. And we're at the top of his list because of that. All right. Left defensive ends. Right guard, Robert Hunt. No, we already just did that with what am I doing? Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett, even though he's a right end, we need a left end. Let's give him a deal. And let's see about centers. Need a new center. Tyler Linderbaum. Come on down. Come on down. Eating up a lot of money already, but we still have 26, I believe. Okay, let me just take a look at maybe running backs and see if there's somebody better than Zeke. David Montgomery, but I don't really think anybody's better than Zeke as far as ratings. Receivers. Tyler Lockett is out there. Burks. But, you know, receivers don't really tickle my fancy. Tyler Higbee. We need a new tight end. Come on over, Higbee. Come on, Higbee. He's probably getting a lot of offers. We're pretty low on his list. The Rams really want him back. If not, we'll just go after Cade Otton. We can only do one more negotiation at this time. Khalil Mack is available again. You know what? Let's... Cameron Thomas. Khalil. Can you give us 1 year? Let's see what this does. He's kind of getting to the end of his career, but where's his only offer? You know, TJ Edwards, he's better. Ward. Well, we're at 5, so this is all we can do for right now. All right, so here's our targets. We've got Joel Bitonio. Even though we do need a right guard, we can always kick him over to even though he's a left guard, we can always kick him over to right guard. Linderbaum, center. Grady Jarrett, defensive end. Even though he's a right defensive end and we need a left one, we can always put him over to the left. Unfortunately, we're pretty low on his list, so I don't know if we'll get him. Same thing with Higbee. We're at the 2nd spot on his list. And Khalil Mack, just to get more linebacker depth for help. So let's see who we get, if anybody. Hopefully we at least get Joel. Whew. See if we got anybody. So we got Bitonio, that's good. We got Linderbaum, that's good. And we got Khalil Mack. But everybody else who it looks like we actually targeted went somewhere else. Grady Jarrett went back to the Falcons. And Tyler Higbee went to the Commanders. Okay. Well, that'll give us money to spend in other areas. So let's go ahead and take a look at. So let's see. What holes do we still have? Okay. Defensive end, definitely. And we also need a tight end. Defensive end and tight end. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go to left ends. Just go to left ends. Zadarius Smith. I know he doesn't really fit our scheme, but let's see if he'll take 1 year. I don't know how much more he has left in the tank. Let's go to tight ends. Is Cade Otton still available? He is. Let's offer Otton. It's a 4-year deal, but you know what? We need a mainstay tight end. If that's what he wants, let's give it to him. $15 million is what we have. That puts us well above the Colts. So we'll more than likely be able to land him, which is good. We need a new middle linebacker too. Unfortunately, all the good guys have already been selected. Chris Barnes. Not going to really be able to get the cream of the crop here, but let's bring him in. I think middle linebacker is a position we're going to have to address in the draft for sure. And of course, we brought back Shaq Barrett instead of Clark. We're just going to have to rock with that the way it is. Oh yeah, kicker and punter. All right, let's bring in Matt Gay to be our new kicker for a year. We can always extend that later on. And get a new punter. And let's get Tommy Townsend, the former Chief. 2-year deal. Okay. So next wave, you know, we're trying to get second-tier players, but it is what it is. So targets for this next wave: Townsend, Gay, Zadarius Smith, Cade Otton, and Chris Barnes. Otton has another competing offer from the Colts, but we have offers well above any of these other guys, so I think we'll be able to land all these guys. Zadarius Smith, we're only offering him a 1-year deal because, to me, he seems like a guy that's a stopgap type of player at this point of his career. So that's kind of what we're going with. Let's go ahead and advance to the next week. We got 5th-year options, but let's take a look at free agency first and see if we got anybody else. We got Townsend. We got Gay. Zadarius Smith is coming. So is Cade Otton. Chris Barnes. All right. So managed to get some holes filled in certain ways. We'll see kind of what this does. Let me take a look at our roster and see what holes we still need to kind of fill here. What positions we're still lacking in. All right. I mean, Deucewan hasn't really developed much, and we still need a new fullback, actually. Cade Otton, we can probably stay at 81 for now. We may change his number, but let's keep him where he is. So Joel, we're going to move you to right guard. All right, so Joel's going to go to right guard. He's going to fill in for Zach Martin. And Linderbaum is our new center. So our offensive line has been kind of redone a little bit. We got a new center and we got a new right guard to replace the guys that we've lost to free agency, as well as as far as left tackle, we still have Tyron Smith here for one more season. More than likely he'll retire. So Zadarius Smith is our new defensive end, 84 overall, because we need to replace DeMarcus Lawrence. Hopefully he'll help out there. We do need a backup right end. Left outside linebacker. Jonathan Cooper is actually higher rated than Khalil Mack. But still, bringing in Khalil, he can also play on the defensive line as well. Gives us a little bit more flexibility. I know he's not what he used to be, according to at least that's what kind of the ratings are giving me. But still, his experience, I think, is something that will be good. And let's give him his 52. Because nobody else is wearing that number. That's Khalil's classic number. Let's give that to him. And he fits our scheme, too. So I figured, hey, why not? So we got Barnes, Overshown. I mean, Barnes is not really a household guy. But, you know, it's 78 overall. Somebody that we just need to replace. Kendrick's in the middle, who we let walk. And Shaq Barrett will still be here. So we'll keep him around. This roster is going to be a little bit inferior to last year in terms of the talent, if you ask me. But this is what we have to deal with. Townsend, he's good where he is. All right, so I think that's going to do it for free agency. And let's see about 5th-year options. Before we do the draft, I'm actually going to go ahead and probably, let's pick up his 5th-year option. You know what? What do you think? Depends. If we want to keep Smith long-term, it's probably a good idea to lock him up for 5th year. Pass on the 5th-year option. Mozzie Smith, you know, Odigizua is still ahead of him. So we're going to pass on doing a 5th-year option for Mozzie Smith because he's got penalties, and I don't think he's worth it. Okay, so let me actually just kind of simulate through the draft, and no, I don't want to simulate through the draft. Kind of stinks that the draft, you know what, let's just simulate to next season because the draft I messed up on. I didn't get the right class. I got the duplicate class. So let's just advance to the draft because I don't think it really matters who we select because I don't know how much a rookie is really going to help us that much anyway. And I'm sticking with Drake May for this season as our quarterback. But if we have a similar result in the playoffs, he's going to be coming up to the end of his deal, and I think it may be time to move on if we can't get to the Super Bowl this year. It's just rough. Just rough out here. You know, we're starting to lose pieces from the original team that we inherited. You know, we decided to go down. I decided to go down this road of life after Dak Prescott, and so far it's been pretty much the same. It's been tougher with a younger quarterback, even though I had high hopes for May. I mean, he's done well. I mean, I'm not saying he's done horribly, but we just can't get past the divisional round, even with him. Can't get past it with anybody. All right, so I'm going to take a look actually at our roster and see what we're looking like now, because hopefully changes weren't made without like my approval, if you will. I don't know what that's going there. Hit that by accident. Let's take a look at our roster. Hopefully no changes were made without my approval. So it looks like we did draft a running back, Jamarian Miller of Alabama. That's fine. Zeke's getting up there. We still need a fullback. We drafted another left tackle in Taylor Fleming, so that's good. Sam Murphy. Drafted another right guard, Courtney Schaefer. Got some O-line depth. Khalil Mack is actually rated higher than Jonathan Cooper, so we may keep him as the starter instead. Barnes, Shaq, Diggs. Did we draft a corner? We did. Dante McLean. We'll change all these guys' numbers when we get to the starting off the 2026 season. All right. So I let the draft simulate because I goofed and selected the wrong draft class. So it is what it is. So we're going into 2026. We got work to do, guys. We might have won our first playoff game in the history of this rebuild, but it took us until year 3 to do it, and now we're entering year 4, and we have a little bit of an inferior roster. I don't know if this team is good enough to win a championship, at least with this year's roster. It's going to be tough to get the Cowboys to back to the Super Bowl. We just have to have some lucky breaks. We have to just play better in the postseason, because right now we're not doing that. So we'll see kind of how things progress, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But unfortunately, like I mentioned, it's going to be probably a while before I pick this back up. Probably honestly won't be until after the new year, because I'm going to be going home for Christmas and on vacation and all that. And of course I won't be bringing my PS4 with me to do live streaming at home. So going to spend some time with the family, get ready for one more week of work starting tomorrow before the Christmas break. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.